Hello everyone! Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. Kyle Richards opens up about change Mauricio made amid separation. I need to do this. Kyle also revealed if she's ever visited her estranged husband's new home during their separation. It's been nearly 2 years since Kyle Richards and Mauricio Dumansky first sparked rumors of marital issues in the summer of 2023 before announcing their split in October. But now Kyle is opening up more about what life without Mauricio looks like, and the ways in which he's moving on. That new life included the signing of a 6-month lease during season 14 of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. He said, "I need to do this. I'm going to move out for 6 months, and then we'll figure it out." So I was like, take it from there, type of thing. Kyle said on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills after show. But then Mauricio made another change that shocked Kyle. Furniture purchases. "I assumed he would have it staged, or he'd find some place that already had furniture," Kyle said. Then, all of a sudden, he was like buying stuff. I'm like, you're buying another bed. This feels like you went into this thinking this is permanent. "I have yet to go to his place," Kyle admitted during the after show. However, she also revealed Mauricio has invited her a number of times. "Actually, it just hasn't worked out yet. Not for any particular reason," Kyle explained. "I've been out of town with certain things, or I had plans." Kyle shared that despite their separation, she's hosted Jewish holiday dinners with Mauricio's family at their Encino home. He said, "Can you come over, and we'll do the holidays at my house?" And I was like, I have more space here. "You're going to have to come here," Kyle said. So, I've been still hosting like Jewish holiday dinners with his family. The separation has also been difficult on Kyle's family, since her sister Kathy Hilton has known Mauricio for decades. Still, Kathy has been Team Kyle during the split. At one point during season 14, Kathy remarked on Mauricio's looks. "Kyle, you look like you could be his daughter," Kathy said in episode 2. "He has aged." Kathy also advised Kyle during the season to make sure you're protected, because you've obviously brought a lot to the table. Despite this, Kathy had a surprising answer during the season 14 reunion. When asked by Andy Cohen if she'd like to see her sister reconcile with Mauricio. "Yes. I don't like things to change," Kathy added. For the kids, for me, I want everything staying the same." Kathy also revealed during the after show that she remains in touch with Mauricio and has called to check on him during the separation. Don't miss Sutton Strack explaining why she feels Kyle should file for divorce from Mauricio. In the soft, golden light of a late California afternoon, Kyle Richards sits quietly in her backyard, barefoot, curled into a corner of a wide white lounger. The sounds of birdsong and wind chimes fill the air, but her thoughts are elsewhere, drifting, perhaps, toward a different chapter of her life that's both painful and strangely empowering. After months of speculation, hushed conversations in Hollywood cafes, and tabloids echoing every sigh, The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star is finally ready to talk about the most transformative season of her marriage to real estate mogul Mauricio Dumansky. It's not the story people expected. It's not scandal. It's not blame. It's change. And, as Kyle reveals, it's change that came from Mauricio himself. "He came to me one morning, just after a walk. He's been walking a lot lately," Kyle says, pulling her soft cardigan tighter around her. "He looked different. Not sad, not broken, just clear. And he said, 'I need to do this.'" She pauses, letting the weight of the moment settle. "He didn't mean leaving. Not really. He meant reinventing himself." For years, Mauricio Dumansky was the man behind the empire. The agency, the glitzy listings, the high-stakes negotiations. But he was also the man beside Kyle. Their marriage, once a symbol of rare reality TV stability, began to strain under the quiet pressure of years in the public eye, of children growing up and moving out, of dreams quietly diverging. Kyle doesn't speak with bitterness. There's sadness, yes, but also a deep and steady grace in her voice. "We didn't explode. We unraveled." And in that space, Maury decided to start from scratch. Not with another person, with himself. What Mauricio changed wasn't flashy or performative. There was no dramatic haircut or sudden move to another country. The transformation began subtly with a journal. I found it on the kitchen counter one morning, Kyle says. It was just a brown leather-bound notebook, no title. But it was open, and the page read, "Who am I when no one is watching?" Not because it felt secretive, but because it felt vulnerable. He'd never done something like that before. He was always so focused, so confident. But that question, it shook me. Mauricio had begun waking early, journaling by candlelight, meditating, and, perhaps most surprisingly, taking guitar lessons, not for a role, not for a party trick, just for himself. He told me he'd always wanted to learn music, but never felt he had the time. The time is now, he said. And that was kind of his mantra for everything after that. The shift was as much spiritual as it was practical. Mauricio scaled back from his high-profile deals, started mentoring younger agents, and, in Kyle's words, began treating life like something to be experienced, not just built. Some speculated he was having a midlife crisis. Kyle laughs at the suggestion, not unkindly, just knowingly. If it's a crisis to finally ask yourself what makes you feel alive, then maybe we should all have one. Their separation, announced quietly through a joint statement, was not marked by acrimony. Instead, it was a mutual pause, a breath taken between two people who still cared deeply, but whose paths had started to bend in different directions. We have dinner sometimes, we laugh, we cry. There's a tenderness now that I think we lost when we were always rushing. Sometimes I think we're closer now, in this weird new way, than we were before. Kyle herself has undergone a kind of metamorphosis. She's returned to acting, producing, and writing. She's taken solo trips, something she used to fear. I went to Ojai by myself for a weekend, no agenda. Just me and the silence. And you know what? I didn't hate it. The couple still co-parent, still share inside jokes, still occasionally argue about whose turn it is to pick up Portia from practice. But the dynamic has softened. Maury's changes inspired my own, Kyle says, her eyes shining. Watching him become more of himself reminded me that I can too. We don't always evolve in sync, and that's okay. She smiles gently. We may not know where this ends. Maybe we'll find our way back to each other. Maybe we won't. But I love him more now, in this moment, for being brave enough to ask for change. For Mauricio, the declaration, "I need to do this," wasn't an ending. It was an opening. An opening to simplicity, to stillness. To the guitar strings he strums under the moonlight. To pages of handwritten thoughts he never plans to publish. To learning who he is without the camera, without the suits, without the schedules. Kyle has started her own journal too. Hers begins with, "What does peace feel like?" As the sun dips below the hills and Kyle wraps her cardigan tighter, you sense this isn't a story about heartbreak. It's a story about rebirth, slow, sincere, and unvarnished. Not a fairy tale, not a tragedy. Just two humans choosing presence over performance. I'm proud of him, Kyle says softly. And maybe, just maybe, I'm proud of me too.